Hello and welcome to EG Classes. Myself Priyamada. EG Classes is one of the pioneer institute who provides portability facility to their students. Well, today we are going to study about Forest Right Act 2006. In short, it is called FRA 2006. Why we are going to study this old law and what is the relevance in the upcoming UPSC prelim examination? Well, this act was recently in news when the SC ordered in order to evict the tribal people who claim the forest land under the Forest Right Act 2006 had been rejected by the authorities, and about 10 lakh people is going to get affected by this act of Supreme Court. Well, this act of Supreme Court, it itself become very much important for your upcoming UPSC prelim examination, and for that we have to study in detail this Forest Right Act 2006. So let's find out what is Forest Right Act 2006. Well, the full form of this act is the Scheduled Tribes and the Other Forest Dwellers, the Recognition of Forest Right Act 2006. Well, as we know that there are a lot of tribal people and forest dwellers live in India. Earlier their rights were not recognized. So in order to recognize their rights, the government has enacted this law, this Forest Right Act law, to empower them by giving their rights. It is unique in being a legislation that guarantees the traditional local communities the right over the forest land on which they have been living or dependent since ancient times. And the act also recognizes the right of the forest dwellers who have to protect, use and manage the forest resources where they live. So basically this act is about two persons, that is first who are living there since ancient times, and the second one is those who are dependent on the forest resources for their livelihood, that is called forest dwellers. So they are basically giving three rights under the Forest Right Act 2006. First is individual rights, that is allowing the person to live in that area. You can perform your activities for your livelihood and you have certain ownership rights on that particular area. So basically this Forest Right Act 2006 is actually giving three kind of rights. First is individual rights, where they are allowing the person to live in that area. So they are giving the ownership rights, then they can perform certain activities for their livelihood. Now the second one is community rights. Well, here you have to live in a community, you can use the forest resources, and then you can cultivate up to 5 hectares of land in that particular area. Now the third right is community forest resource right. Well, here it is empowering the Gram Sabha to manage and protect the forest. Well, by conservation, regeneration and managing the community forest area. So these are the three kind of the rights which is providing by the Forest Right Act 2006. So as we have discussed that this act is actually giving the ownership rights. Well, this is also allowing the use and the collect of the minor forest produce, and also it is giving the right on the water bodies, flora and fauna. So no project can come up to the forest nor any conservation plan be carried out without the approval of the Gram Sabha. So this is very much important. Now you can see the empowering, how this act is actually empowering the Gram Sabha of that particular area. Well, also it is here they are enjoying the intellectual property rights and traditional knowledge related to biodiversity. And lastly, the rehabilitation and settlement right, including the provision to get the alternate land in case of displacement or eviction. So these are the factual things related to, these are the main points related to Forest Right Act 2006. So you have to remember these points, and that's all for this video. Thank you so much.